For many, the greatest disappointment after weeks of dieting is discovering that their hard-earned muscle mass has vanished while stubborn fat remains. This paradox is not a flaw in discipline, but a reflection of how the human body prioritizes energy. According to research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, when caloric intake is drastically reduced, the body's survival instincts are triggered. Muscle tissue, while vital for strength and movement, is metabolically expensive. Every pound of muscle burns energy around the clock, even when resting. Fat, on the other hand, is seen by the body as efficient long-term energy storage. This evolutionary bias explains why, during periods of extreme restriction, muscle is the first resource sacrificed. The body is effectively thinking, we don't need this much strength to survive famine, but we may need stored energy later. The result? People shrink in size but retain their fat deposits. They become weaker, more fatigued, and metabolically slower. This is why crash diets often leave individuals with the dreaded skinny fat look, a smaller frame, but with the same problem areas unchanged. Why belly fat is so stubborn? Belly fat, more than any other area, seems immune to effort. A person can run miles, cut calories, and see results everywhere except the waistline. Why does this happen? The University of Copenhagen conducted studies showing that abdominal fat has poorer blood flow than fat in other regions, such as the arms or legs. This means fewer fat-mobilizing hormones reach the belly. Even when the body is burning fat, the belly remains on lockdown. Biology adds another layer of difficulty. Fat cells contain receptors that determine how easily stored energy is released. Beta-2 receptors are cooperative. When fat-burning hormones arrive, they release energy quickly. Alpha-2 receptors, however, are stubborn gatekeepers, holding on tightly to fat stores. Unfortunately, belly fat contains more alpha-2 receptors, making it biologically resistant to fat loss. Evolution also plays a role. For men, belly fat historically served as quick-access energy reserves. For women, hips and thighs served as vital energy stores for fertility and nursing. This genetic legacy explains modern struggles with body composition. Stress and cortisol. Stress has become a silent epidemic, and it leaves its mark not only on mental health, but also on body composition. Elevated cortisol, the hormone released during stress, signals the body to store more visceral fat, particularly around the midsection. The Journal of Obesity reported that chronically stressed individuals carried up to 20% more abdominal fat than their less stressed counterparts, despite similar caloric intake. Cortisol also increases cravings for sugary and fatty foods, a combination that drives fat accumulation further. Worse still, cortisol disrupts sleep cycles, lowers testosterone, and interferes with insulin sensitivity. These hormonal imbalances create the perfect storm: higher appetite, slower metabolism, and more fat storage. Stress, in short, rewires the body toward obesity. Practical solutions include meditation, controlled breathing, light exercise such as yoga, and consistent sleep patterns, all of which have been shown to reduce cortisol and protect fat loss progress. Cardio versus strength training. Few debates in fitness are as heated as the battle between cardio and weights. Which is superior for fat loss? Science gives a nuanced answer: both, but for different reasons. The Journal of Applied Physiology studied groups assigned to cardio only, strength only, and combined training. The group that combined both methods saw the greatest reduction in fat mass while also preserving lean muscle. Cardio burns calories quickly, but it primarily uses glucose during the session. Fat burning ramps up after the workout in what is known as the afterburn effect, or EPOC, excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. This effect, documented by the University of New Mexico, keeps metabolism elevated for hours, sometimes even a full day after intense cardio. Strength training tells the body to hold on to muscle. Without it, the body assumes muscle is expendable and breaks it down for energy. With it, the body prioritizes fat as the expendable fuel. The marriage of cardio and weights ensures maximum fat burning without sacrificing the very tissue that shapes the body. Fasted training. Does it work? The idea of fasted cardio, training on an empty stomach, has been praised and criticized. Research from the British Journal of Nutrition 2013 found that participants burned nearly 20% more fat during fasted cardio compared to fed conditions. The reason is simple. In the morning, insulin levels are low, blood sugar is minimal, and glycogen reserves are partially depleted. In this environment, the body has no choice but to tap into fat stores. However, the strategy is not without risks. At high intensities, the body may shift back to muscle breakdown for energy. This is why fasted cardio works best for light to moderate efforts, such as steady jogging or walking, not for heavy lifting or HIIT. Athletes seeking muscle preservation should approach fasted training cautiously, ensuring protein intake is sufficient throughout the day to prevent catabolism. Sweat is not fat. Many still equate sweat with fat loss, but this is a dangerous misconception. Sweat is the body's cooling system, nothing more. A British Medical Journal 2014 study highlighted that 70% of fat is exhaled as carbon dioxide through the lungs. The remaining 30% is eliminated as water through sweat, urine, and vapor. In other words, every breath you take while exercising is the true evidence of fat being burned. This also explains why extreme practices like sauna suits designed to increase sweating result only in temporary water loss. Fighters and wrestlers may use these techniques to make weight classes, but the fat remains untouched. True fat loss cannot be sweated out, it must be metabolized and exhaled. The trap of crash diets. Crash diets promise rapid results, but they exact a heavy toll. The Minnesota starvation experiment of 1944 remains the most famous demonstration. Volunteers subjected to semi-starvation lost significant muscle, suffered psychological breakdowns, and regained fat rapidly once normal eating resumed. Modern fad diets mimic the same mistakes. Severe caloric restriction causes the body to lower its metabolic rate, increase hunger hormones, and defend fat stores more aggressively. The result is short-term weight loss followed by rapid regain, the classic yo-yo effect. Long-term success requires sustainable deficits where fat is prioritized for energy without triggering the body's starvation alarms. Breathing and oxygenation. Breathing is rarely considered in fat loss conversations, yet it is fundamental. Oxidation, the process that burns fat, requires oxygen. Poor breathing means poor fat burning. Studies in the BMJ demonstrated that diaphragmatic, nasal, and controlled breathing can increase fat oxidation efficiency by up to 20%. Athletes have long practiced breathing drills, not only for endurance, but also for energy utilization. The rules are clear. Inhale through the nose, expand the diaphragm, and exhale fully to clear carbon dioxide. Each complete breath cycle enhances oxygen delivery, enabling the body to mobilize more fat. Sleep, the hidden pillar. The role of sleep in fat loss cannot be overstated. The University of Chicago 2010 revealed that sleep-deprived participants lost the same amount of total weight as well-rested individuals, but with a devastating difference. Those with only 5 hours of sleep lost 55% less fat and far more muscle. Sleep deprivation raises cortisol, lowers testosterone, and interferes with insulin sensitivity. These hormonal imbalances create the perfect storm: higher appetite, slower metabolism, and more fat storage. Stress, in short, rewires the body toward obesity. In contrast, consistent deep sleep enhances recovery, preserves lean mass, and maximizes fat-burning hormones. Sleep, therefore, is not an optional luxury, but a biological requirement for successful fat loss. NEAT, the hidden fat burner. While workouts dominate discussions, most fat loss occurs outside the gym. NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, refers to calories burned through daily movement. The Mayo Clinic found that individuals with high NEAT burned up to 700 additional calories daily compared to sedentary peers. Walking during calls, taking stairs, fidgeting, or household chores all contribute significantly. Ironically, people who exercise intensely but remain sedentary the rest of the day may burn fewer total calories than those who move constantly at low intensities. NEAT is the secret weapon few consider but many desperately need. Thermogenesis and food. Not all calories are equal in how the body processes them. Food itself burns energy during digestion, known as the thermic effect of food. Caffeine raises metabolism by up to 11%. Green tea catechins improve fat mobilization. Capsaicin in chili peppers increases calorie burn slightly. Protein, the champion, requiring up to 30% of its own calories to be digested.
This is why high-protein diets not only preserve muscle, but also increase energy expenditure. Every meal is an opportunity to turn food into a metabolic ally. Hormones, the real decision makers. Fat loss is ultimately dictated by hormones, the invisible regulators of energy. Insulin determines whether energy is stored or released. High levels trap fat. Leptin signals fullness, but low leptin triggers hunger. Ghrelin stimulates appetite, especially when sleep is poor. Testosterone and growth hormone drive muscle preservation and fat oxidation. The Endocrine Reviews confirms that balancing hormones through diet, training, and sleep is as critical as controlling calories. Those who ignore hormones often fail despite perfect diets on paper. HIIT, the ultimate accelerator. High-intensity interval training, or HIIT, has proven itself as one of the fastest ways to burn fat. The Journal of Obesity, 2008, demonstrated that just 20 minutes of HIIT 3 times per week outperformed 60 minutes of steady-state cardio in belly fat reduction. HIIT creates a massive oxygen debt, forcing the body into extended fat burning afterward. This after effect explains why short, intense workouts yield outsized results. However, HIIT is demanding and not suitable for everyone daily. When paired strategically with strength training and recovery, it becomes a powerful accelerator. Supplements with scientific support. Supplements are often overhyped, but a few have strong evidence. Caffeine boosts performance and fat oxidation. Whey protein maintains muscle during caloric deficits. Creatine preserves strength and training quality. Omega-3 fatty acids improve insulin sensitivity and fat metabolism. Source: Journal of the International Society of Sports Nutrition. While none replace a solid plan, they can act as supportive tools when combined with proper diet and exercise. Metabolism and age. Contrary to myths, metabolism does not plummet at 30. A science study, 2021, concluded that metabolic rate remains stable from age 20 to 60, only declining by about 0.7% per year afterward. This finding shifts the blame from age to lifestyle. Weight gain with age often reflects reduced activity, increased stress, and poorer diet choices, not inevitable metabolic decline. Strength training, protein intake, and quality sleep remain the best tools to maintain metabolism across decades. Psychology and consistency. Finally, psychology determines whether fat loss lasts. Studies in behavioral neuroscience show that small, frequent rewards release dopamine, reinforcing motivation. Celebrating milestones, logging progress, and social accountability are vital. A 2020 review in Obesity Reviews analyzed long-term fat loss success. The conclusion was clear: consistency beats intensity. Extreme programs fail because they cannot be sustained. Moderate, repeatable actions win because they build habits for life. Science-based weekly plan. Monday, high-intensity cardio intervals, 20 to 30 minutes. Tuesday, full body strength training plus light walk. Wednesday, steady-state cardio, 45 to 60 minutes. Thursday, active recovery, light walk, stretching, deep breathing. Friday, strength split session plus 20 minutes light cardio. Saturday, long-duration cardio, 60 to 75 minutes. And Sunday, rest or gentle walk. Nutrition. Prioritize protein, add fiber, drink 3 to 4 liters of water daily, eliminate processed sugar. Sleep, 7 to 8 hours minimum. Breathing, slow, deep, diaphragmatic, and nasal. Fat loss is not about magic creams, sauna suits, or starvation diets. It is about science. It is about working with biology, not against it. Cardio and strength together maximize fat loss. NEAT turns daily life into a hidden workout. Hormones, sleep, and stress control decide success. Breathing and food choices amplify metabolism. Consistency, not intensity, builds lasting change. In the end, there is no miracle. There is only science, applied day after day. And those who follow this path don't just lose fat. They transform their bodies, their health, and their lives.
Did you enjoy the video? Subscribe to our channel, Health and Wellness for All, for more tips and information. See you soon.